I'm here to talk about 3 books for my book talk, and they are all written by the same author, whose name is Marcus Sedgwick. Marcus Sedgwick writes supernatural historical fiction, and I really enjoy his work because he writes on multiple levels, and he always writes up and never down to the audience. I've even come up with my own affectionate nickname for him, Sedgwick the Entertainer. I'm going to start with his first novel in chronological order, and this takes place in the 17th century in Eastern Europe, and it is called My Swordhand is Singing. My Swordhand is Singing is about this woodcutter, Peter, and his father, Tomas, who moved to this village, and they are the new people in town. But what is menacing the village are vampires. Now, that does sound kind of familiar because you're like, new person in town, and they meet vampires. Oh man, that sounds like Twilight! Well, no, it's not Twilight. There's no emo romantic stuff, and there's no new words or weird jargon you have to learn. In fact, they aren't even called vampires. The word hasn't even been coined yet. It basically gets down to basics on the vampire legend. Now, it's a strange title, isn't it? My Swordhand is Singing. Try saying that 3 times fast. My sword is singing, my sword is singing, my swordhand is singing. And, you know, with a title like that, you know there's probably going to be a huge sword or lots of singing. Anyway, it's going to be up to Peter to unwrap the mystery of his father Tomas's past, to find the connection to these vampires and how to stop them. That is, if he can stop them. And it's a really great book, so it's called, again, My Swordhand is Singing. And now I would like to go to my next book. This occurs a few centuries later. This is called the Foreshadowing. Now, you know, in foreshadowing in literature is like to tell of a future event. It's to give you this little hint that it may or may not come. Well, this is about a young aspiring nurse in England named Sasha during World War I. This was the war before Hitler, before the Nazis, okay? This was from 1914 to 1918. And this young nurse, Sasha, can see the future. Now, you might think that's kind of a gift to see the future. Well, nobody believes her because, hey, it sounds crazy. And basically, this is more like a curse than a gift. And to make this gift curse even worse, she only sees horrific, terrible things. So that's not very much fun either. But what makes matters even worse for Sasha is that she sees her brother in danger, and her brother is serving in France. So Sasha has to make the decision, well, can she save her brother, or is the future really set? And this is a novel which is about sacrificing and fighting for those you love. And this, so I really would like to recommend The Foreshadowing. Now, speaking of sacrifice, that's going to take us to our final novel, Midwinterblood. Now, if you don't know, you ought to go out and look at the painting. It's based on this epic, cool painting. That's where it gets its name from. A Swedish painting called Midwinterblood. Or maybe I'm doing the wrong accent. Maybe it'd be Midwinterblood. And it's a very epic painting that deals with a real sacrifice. Like, as in, you know, somebody being sacrificed to the gods. Sacrifice. And this novel is about sacrifice, but not just ritual sacrifice, all kinds of sacrifice. But let me back up a little. It's actually 7 stories in one, taking place in the future and in the past. It concerns 2 people named Eric and Merle, most commonly, and the sacrifices they make for each other throughout the ages. And they meet again and again on a mysterious island called Blessed Island. Now, in the first two novels I discussed, they were a vampire story and a historical novel. Now, in this one, there actually is a vampire short story and a war story, just like the other one I said I meant war story. And you get even more. You get like a coming of age story, a ghost story. Um, what else? Investigative story, an archaeological story. There's basically here for everyone. And if you liked the movie Cloud Atlas, the way it kind of jumped all over time and showed all these epic scenes from all over the centuries, then I think you would also like Midwinterblood, which it is often compared to. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my book talk, as stammering and nervous as I was. And I've tried to give you the basic outline on all these three books. And I really hope you at least try them and enjoy them as much as I did. Thank you.